While in Washington, D.C., GOP House members held a forum at the Heritage Foundation focused on determining if the security failure and incompetence could be considered malice.
You will see at this stage where I think that criminal gross negligence and purposeful intent will be indistinguishable.
From the commentary directed at some of the agents in charge of the Donald Trump detail, which I have heard about, clearly, it appears that for the first time in American history, we have a Secret Service that is making decisions that may not be all political, but may have a political tinge to them.
Well, the House task force investigating the assassination attempt does have authority to issue subpoenas. So let's talk with the chairman of the Freedom Caucus, Congressman from Virginia's 5th District, Representative Bob Good. Congressman, great to be with you again.
Thanks for having me.
All right, I want you to listen to this testimony on the Butler, PA Trump rally from yesterday's hearing and how the Secret Service treated the command center and distribution of information between law enforcement.
The information that was gathered by the command center, which would have been being operated by the Butler Emergency Services Unit and the commander in that capacity, he was responsible for relaying that information to a point of contact he had, and my understanding was that it was over a cell phone.
Congressman, no Secret Service officer oversaw the command center, and the agency turned down encrypted communication devices, choosing cell phones instead. Is any of this, to your knowledge, normal protocol for security at an event with a former president?
No, it's not. And this is the crime of the century that we're dealing with. Think about this. The attempted assassination of President Donald Trump, that but for the grace of God and the aim being off by just a sliver, could have resulted in the assassination of our 45th and hopefully 47th president. But to think about the layers of incompetence and negligence at best, where you had only 4 Secret Service officers present in Butler, PA, while 12 were at the nearby event for Jill Biden, when there's no constitutional or statutory requirement to protect Jill Biden, but there is to protect Donald Trump. Then, as you know, the Secret Service skipped the security briefing with them and local and state law enforcement. They didn't take the radios that were given to them by the local law enforcement so they could communicate effectively. You had a terrible job of trying to protect the president after the shooting when they allowed him to stand up and he was exposed, when they didn't even know if there might be a second or a third shooter. Then the FBI cleaned the crime scene, the roof of the building, inexplicably, almost immediately after the event took place. They allowed the body to be cremated. They compromised the crime scene at the family's home. There is no social media or digital footprint for this 20-year-old who somehow gained the ability to do this. So it appears to be much worse than negligence or incompetence. It seems to be deliberate or willful. That's why the hearing yesterday by those 5 congressmen was so important in Washington, D.C., alongside the House-commissioned bipartisan task force.